Hi everybody, Hawk here. Today's objective, and for the foreseeable future, is to make Suno a viable production tool. I want to use the B word here, make Suno R, but I'm going to keep it G-rated. We want to make Suno a viable production tool that we can use and not have Suno make us a B word tool. So, let's talk about how we can do this. The first thing we want to make sure we do is anything worth feeding Suno, anything worth streaming, anything that we've generated from Suno, that our music, our song, our original material is copyright protected. So make sure you go to the Copyright Office and register your music, register your songs. Because what I'm talking about here is taking music that I've written and using Suno to help me further produce it, to enhance it, to use Suno as a music production tool and an educational resource. So go to registration here and go to the performing arts, and this is where we're going to register our music. If you're like me, you have a lot of songs out there and you can't quite remember what you've registered and what you haven't registered sometimes. So if that's the case, go to the Copyright Government Office here for search copyright records here. And the song we're going to do here is Lies on an old acid jazz album that I did back in the mid-90s. That's what we're going to use for our treatment here. And I want to double check and make sure that's copyrighted before I feed it to Suno. So type in your name, type in the name of the song, and let's see what we get here. And there we go. It pulls up my copyright records and we can see that I registered this back in 1997 as part of an album with a bunch of songs on it. And there is the Lies song. That's the one we are going to feed to Suno and see what we can cook up in Suno's Studio and STEM process. Okay, so here we are in Suno. This is the pro version. That means I have access to the studio and creating stems. You know, it's a monthly subscription, or you can pay for the whole year if you're that bold. And the first thing we want to do here is import our copyrighted audio. So I'll go upload and I'll find the song, my copyrighted song, Lies, and I will open that. And we'll get an import dialog, and the import dialog asks us, do we want to import the whole song? The answer is yes. When I press save, it'll ask us if we want to do a cover or if we want to save it to a library. I always just save it to my library within Suno so that I can add it to different workspaces. So I've already imported this one. Workspaces are up here. And I have a big mess of workspaces because I did not realize at the time that you can't rename workspaces. So that's been a problem. I've gotten a lot better now. I'm naming the workspaces with the name of the artist and then the name of the song so that I can use each workspace for working on an individual song. And so this one was early on and I haven't been able to rename it. So it's commercial song cover test. So let's open that up here. And down at the bottom here is my original song, the one that I uploaded. And so if we click on it here, we can see that it's imported it and brought in all the lyrics, which are usually pretty good. I find them about 80-90% correct. I have to go in and make a few changes. But yeah, so let's take a listen to this. This was back in the mid-90s, so I think I wrote it and produced it around 95, released it around 96. And you know, cut me a little slack. I didn't have a big budget. I was still learning. Yeah, I think it came out good for the time, but you know, I definitely can do better now. And I wish I had a bigger budget back then, but hey, this is what I had. So let's take a listen.
So many lives have been wasted on these lies. Oh, la 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 la, lies, 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 lies. Oh, la 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 la, lies, lies. When you die, will it be a lie? Lies.
So that's the original song. So what we want to do to make a cover of the original song, and it's really important that we're making a cover of this so that we adhere to the original song composition. It's our song. We are basically hiring Suno to make a cover of our song. And so click on the three little dots here and go to Remix, Edit, and Cover. Boom, there it is. And over here, you can double check the lyrics, make sure all the lyrics are right. I've run lots of tests and come up with bad lyrics by accident and then couldn't get the AI to regenerate the same thing. It's kind of almost like a slot machine putting this material in. So rolling on down here, you can put in styles. Like if I literally, this was left over from something I typed in earlier, if I wanted to do this in a completely different style, I could type in the style that I want. It's a dark metal. I could do the song in dark metal. But I wanted to redo this song. So I just type in acid jazz as the actual style that I'm going to do if I want to redo this song. And this is really important. Make sure that we have put in your male or female vocals, what you want here. Lyric mode is manual. And normally this is kind of set default area like this, something like that, right in the middle. This is the most critical part right here. We want Suno's cover to adhere to our composition. We want it to use our chords, our melody, our lyrics. It's going to ad-lib, but we want it to base everything on that. So it's our composition. It's our copyright at work. So we want weirdness at 0. We want style influence 100% based on our composition, and audio influence 100% based on our composition. I noticed recently it didn't always do this, but now it's gone red. So what I've been doing now is just pulling it down to about 85% right before it hits its threshold and applying that. So I think it's 15% here on weirdness. So 15, 85, 85. And now I can hit create and it's going to generate a cover. And I'll come back and talk about how you can work with these covers some more, but it can generate a lot of different covers and every single one's going to be a little bit different, but they're all going to be based on your composition. And that's what's critical here. So if I did want to release this, it's not a copyright infringement. Yeah, there's some question about the fact that it's pulling on other producers' sounds, which is pretty questionable. But it is not a copyright infringement in terms of what the Copyright Office says and what BMI, what the performance rights organizations say. And what they're telling us is that it can be AI assisted music, but it has to be your music. I wrote this music. This is my music. You just heard the song. So let's listen to the song that it produced. I'm not going to play all these other ones. We're going to play the one that I think is the most impressive one, the one that I think is really cool. And then we'll talk a little bit about how we can work with what it gave us and how to add actually elements from the different ones here. Okay, so let's listen to the song that I thought was the best out of all the different cover versions that Suno output. And then we'll talk about why I think it's the best and why I don't think it's a copyright infringement and how we can work with it. Here we go.
let you fly. Lies will never let you fly. Lies will never let you truly, spiritually get high. When you die, will it be a lie? When you die, will it be a lie? Lies will never let you fly. Lies will never let you fly. Lies will never let you truly, spiritually get high. There's so many lies have been wasted on these lies. When you die, will it be a lie? Lies will never let you fly. Lies will never let you fly. Lies will never let you truly, spiritually get high.
Lies, lies.
Oh,
Oh, la, 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 la. Lies, lies.
when you die, will it be a lie?
Lies, lies.
Oh,
Oh, la, 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 la. Lies, lies.
when you die, will it be a lie?
Lies, lies.
I mean, wow, I'm speechless, dude. I certainly didn't have the budget for a horn section or a string section. I did add that. I did add those to the description of what I wanted to produce in this cover. And I did say female background vocals. I didn't have budget for that either. And quite frankly, I can't sing that good. I'm saying, I mean, maybe I'll try, but oh my goodness gracious, that's inspiring. Wow. And also, what else to say about this? It's using my riffs, dude. Can you hear the piano riffs and stuff in there? And it's using the chord progression. And yeah. All right, let's bust this out and take a closer look at it in its stem forms and load those stems into my DAW program. Yeah, let's do that. Here we go. Okay, to get the stems out of Suno, we could put them into Suno Studio. I haven't been all that impressed with Suno Studio yet. It has a lot of potential, but again, it's sort of like playing a slot machine with some of these algorithms. Seriously, that's a video for another time. But just at its basic concept here, you know, in the pro level here, get stems. So we click on that. And I always make sure I download the stereo mix of the song as well right here. And I'll burn through a few credits here just to show you guys what this looks like here. And so it's going to take a minute. It's going to look at the stems here. And I always keep that stereo mix available next to the folder with all the stems in it so I can take a quick listen to what it is. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But so it's going to sit here and crunch this for a while, and it's going to figure out all the stems, and it's pulling out what it thinks is in the song. You know, some obvious parts, the drums, yeah, the vocals, lead vocals, yeah, the background vocals, yeah. But then there's other things that are pretty weird, things like percussion elements, string elements, that it gets kind of mixed up. Yeah, so it's going to generate all these stems here, and we'll be able to listen to the stems. There we go. we'll be able to listen to these stems, different versions of the stems, and it's pulling this out of its own stereo master. So there's no magic here. It doesn't have the multi-track back there. It's pulling them out of the stereo master. So I'll decide what I think is going to be the most important part of this, which is not necessarily going to be the lead vocals if I'm going to redo the lead vocals over, but it might be, say, the horns, because I didn't have the money for a horn section. I really like the horns, and I might use the horns verbatim, but I wouldn't use the lead vocals verbatim because they're not my actual lead vocals. They're based on my sound kind of originally, but yeah, whatever. So I can press play here, and it's going to play this stuff here, and I can switch back and forth between version 1 and version 2, or I can regenerate another version. So I'll just show you what that looks like here. If I want to focus on the horns, and I press play here, solo it. There it is. I can listen to a different version.
Life will never let you fly.
So it's nice because I can jump around in here and listen to the different parts, solo the parts, mute the parts, get the different versions and things. And then once I've decided what I want, then I'll make sure that I have this set to wave. It's just wasting your time with MP3 audio and stuff like that. But I want everything. I want wave audio. And then when I download here, it also gives me the MIDI files, which I'll talk more about in just a minute. So yeah, let's load these stems up into Pro Tools and take a closer look and listen and compare some of these riffs and motifs in the stems or in the cover song to the original song. All right, so I've got all the stems loaded into Pro Tools. I figured out the tempo on the song and entered that so that everything would sync up and be on the grid. It's kind of interesting. The song is very organic. The tempo is not consistent. It's more or less consistent to 96 beats per minute, which is the original song's tempo. So that, it's adhering to the original song's tempo. And the original song was a real drummer, so there is a little bit of give and take on the tempo. I will say that Suno's tempo, even though it varies, it always finds the one, which is really important, and that's what a real drummer or a real player is going to do. You might go a little bit looser on a bar, but then you're going to find that one. You're going to be back on that one within the bar or within at least 2 bars if you're going rubato time or something for a bar. But so let's listen to this and let's talk about the quality of the stems. First of all, I should note that they are actually better than CD quality, which is great, WAV files. They're 4816. So I think that they said they were 44.116, but when I actually exported them, I realized and found out that they were 4816, which is cool. They sound good as AI can sound. So let's listen to this. When we listen to everything all together, it sounds awesome.
Lies will never let you fly. And lies will never let you fly.
Okay, so that's all of the stems together, but let's listen to the drums by themselves here. I mean, that sounds awful. It sounds like some weird notch filters on it, and it just doesn't sound good. The reason why it doesn't sound good is, again, because it's pulled out and reconstructed from that stereo master. And the reason why it sounds good when it's all together, because the other stems contain frequency information that when they're all summed together, round out the drums and make them not sound so nasty. Well, listen to the keyboard part here. listen to all those artifacts. Well, there's a couple things happening here. There's all the artifacts. The piano itself doesn't sound good, but it's also got my original like little guitar riff that's in there, which is cool. I'm super happy that my original guitar riff from the original song is in this AI cover, but it's mixed in with the stem. So that's not great. You don't have any mixing control over that. If we listen to another good example, I think here would be like, there's something here is called synth, which is actually the string section here. And I mean, what is that slop? Oh, it's AI slop, excuse me. Again, it sounds fine when everything is all playing together because the rest of the missing frequencies and the weird phase cancellations and compression and all this weird stuff, they're all filled out by the rest of the tracks. But when you play this by itself, it just sounds hideous. So yeah, there's that. So don't expect some kind of magic out of that. Let's listen to the vocals real quick here. So the lead vocals are right here.
Eyes will never let you fly. Eyes will never let you truly spirit speaking. There's so many lies have been wasted on this life.
I can't get over that riff, man. I can't do that. Alrighty. All right, moving along here. Yeah, the vocals sound okay, but again, there's a lot of artifacts and everything in them. But you know, what I'm so excited about here is that it's using my ideas, it's using my song, it's using my composition, which is great. And if we like dial in a little bit deeper here and we play like this section right here. So let's listen to the original song. So just listen to that piano riff. Da, 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 da. That one right there. That wasn't quite in key, but hey. So there it is. So just proof that, you know, it's pulling my melodies, my harmonies through. And we can listen to the chord progression here.
Lies will never let you fly. Lies will never let you truly, spiritually get high.
So that that chord progression right there. Let's listen to the AI cover.
Lies will never let you fly. Lies will never let you fly.
So just want to say proof is in the pudding. This is my song. Even though Suno covered it, it's my song. It's copyright protected, baby. Yeah. Let's talk about MIDI next. So I was really excited when I heard that it would generate MIDI parts too, because that means I could pair that MIDI part with anything, any virtual instrument, and create better sounding instruments than the stems. But I was sorely disappointed. They've got a lot of work to do on their MIDI parts. But this is pretty typical with converting audio to MIDI. The program is just, the software is just listening to and looking at the fundamentals and overtones within that audio, and it's trying to generate something. And it's really hit and miss. So let's take a listen to a couple that I've imported. Here's the bass MIDI. And so I've paired it with an expand instrument in here, just a basic bass part here. And let's listen to it. So I got that right. 'Cause, 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 So there's a whole lot of slop and garbage in there. I mean, you could get something out of that if you spent many hours editing it. You could get something out of it. So it's not completely unuseful, but pretty close. Let's listen to the keys, the piano, because remember that keys part had like the guitar riff in there from my original song, which I liked, but I'm not trying to play the guitar riff on the piano. So as a producer, I can't really do a lot with that piano part. But if I had the MIDI piano, then I could totally do something with it. But this is what we got. Got a few sour notes in there, huh? It got the riff right, but obviously there's a lot of bad notes in there. That is like some crazy editing required there. Again, you know, you could do something with it, though it would kind of be torturous. Anyway, let me show you what happens when I actually import a MIDI track here. We'll just go up to the top here and we'll go File, Import, MIDI, and then we'll scroll over to where it's located in my, let's see, I put it on my glyph drive here. Suno work here, that would be the Califunk work, that would be Lies covers, here it is, stems, and so I'm going to import the drums. There they are, MIDI drums. So I just want to show you what happens here. So new tracks, yes, I'm going to do this and it's going to completely mess up this session, but I just want to show you what happens. Import the tempo map. I already figured out the tempo map on my own. I figured out, well, not the tempo map, but I figured out the tempo, the primary tempo of 96 BPM. But I'm just going to show you what it gives us. And so that's what it gives us here. And if we zoom in here, we can see that we have a whole lot of tempo markers, and we can see that there's variation here happening. You know, in the tempo, it's got a human feel to it, if that's possible. I mean, I guess it's based on my original track, so which was a real live human drummer, so that makes sense. But yeah, there's way too many tempo markers in here to make this usable, and also this is what it gave us for the drums, and the drums are not adhering to what I teach in my class, my beats class, which is general MIDI standards, drum note standards. If I just zoom in on a section here, I mean, these are all over the place. That is C1, so that would be the kick drum, but there's no, it's just, yeah, you don't even want to play this. About the only good thing I can say is that they're in time, but the notes don't line up with a general MIDI drum note standard, so you can't easily pair it with a basic drum kit, say, let's say a Superior Drummer drum kit, or a Reason Drums drum kit, or even like a drum kit designer in Logic. Forget about it. You're going to have to do a whole lot of shifting MIDI notes around to get these to line up to the sounds in your drum kit patch. So, good idea. They got a long way to go. And if you haven't noticed, you know, the changes that have been happening within the AI music production field here have been exponential. I've been watching this started 4 years ago, started watching more closely 2 years ago, and it's taken off, right? The things that we're able to do right now, I couldn't have imagined 30 years ago. I mean, this is like crazy stuff. But it's so important. Just like when drum machines came out, when CDs came out, this is new technology, and it's critical for us to get those guardrails up, to define copyright, what is copyrightable, to define who gets paid what within this creative field that we work in. and to make AI music production and AI assisted tools. AI assisted music production is copyrightable because we're writing the music. This is AI assisted music production. So I can take all these stems and I can put them into a DAW program, and I can use parts of these stems, or I can replay parts of them. I mean, frankly, I think some of them are inspirational. And I would like to try seeing that vocal note. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, so that we can make AI a tool for good and not just a tool that corrupts the entire creative process. Yeah, so I think that pretty much sums it up. Anyway, let me know your guys' thoughts. I know this is some pretty polarizing stuff here, but it's here to stay. I mean, regardless of the lawsuits, it's like the Pandora's box has been opened. So let's see if we can make it our B-word tool and not the other way around. Good luck, everybody. Let's do this. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys soon. Ciao.